Friends, welcome to our channel Geologica. We are here dealing with the structural geology MCQs for various geological exams. So in this video we will see from question number 9 to question number 15. So let us move with our first question. A strike fault is the one in which. So here it is asking about the strike fault. So this is the when two block moves parallel to the strike of beds. If there is dip fault, then it will be the two blocks move parallel to the dip of the beds. Now if another term is include slip, okay, like we are talking about the strike slip fault, then it will be related to the fault plane. Okay, if strike slip fault, that means the two blocks move parallel to the strike of fault plane. Only when the slip term is used, we will classify them on the basis of fault plane. If it is the dip slip fault, that means the slip is along the dip of fault plane. But if there is no use of slip, definitely we will go with the strike and dip of the beds. Okay, so here second option will be our right answer. Now question number 10th is, horizontal Triassic bed lie over the horizontal Cambrian beds with a horizontal contact, then the contact represents. So here we are saying that we have a Triassic bed. Let us see that the red color is showing the Triassic bed, okay, and this is lying above the Cambrian bed. So this is the Cambrian bed showing from the yellow color, and the contact is also a horizontal. So now we have to identify that what we will call in this contact. So you may be confirmed with the disconformity, that is the unconformity between the two sedimentary rocks. So here we have the two sedimentary beds, one is Triassic and another is Cambrian. And if you remember the geological time scale, you knows that between the Triassic and Cambrian we have the Ordovician, Silurian, Devonian, Carboniferous, Permian, then we have the Triassic. So this is the time gap, and if this is the time gap between the two sedimentary rocks, that is known as disconformity. But if the contact surface is parallel, then it is again classified into the paraconformity. That's why here paraconformity will be your right answer. If the surface is irregular, then we will call it disconformity. Okay, keep in mind the basic difference between disconformity and paraconformity. Disconformity will have the two sedimentary layers with irregular contact, while paraconformity have the two sedimentary layers with horizontal contact. Okay, so here fourth option will be our right answer. Now next question is, how a vertical lineation will get represented on a stereogram. So here I have shown a stereo net, and if you plot any line, definitely it will be plotted as a point. So this is our center. Okay, I have marked from the black color. Now if you are going to plot a line here, then the direction of line will be in this point here. So we can say that the line is dipping towards this angle, and the amount of inclination or the amount of plunge will be from here to here, this much. So definitely when we mark the point close to the periphery, that means the amount of plunge is less, and if we plot it exact at the periphery, that means it is horizontal line. And as we move towards the center, the inclination increases, and as we reach towards the center, as we reach at the center, the inclination becomes 90 degree. So here it is asking that a vertical lineation, that means a 90 degree. Okay, so 90 degree, as I have already discussed, how as we move towards the center, the inclination increases, and at the center, at the point of center, it is the vertical. Now next question is, what is the use of dip isogons? So dip isogons are used to classify the folds. Here you can see the basic definition of dip isogon is the lines which joins the point of equal inclination or the equal dip. Okay, so here these are the lines of some folds, and based on these dip isogons we can say that in this area they are converging in nature, and in some folds they are parallel, while in another folds they can be divergent. So based on this we can say that these are the class 1 folds in which dip isogons are convergent in nature. Then within these we have class 1a, 1b, 1c based on the amount of convergence. Then you have the class 2 folds, that is also known as the similar fold. Then class 3 folds in which the dip isogons are divergent in nature. So here third option will be our right answer, that is these are used to classify the folds. Now next question is, what is the component of stress acting parallel to the plane of reference? So if we have a plane of reference like this and you have any stress like this stress will have the two components. One will be perpendicular, that is along y-axis, and another is parallel to the x-axis. So the component which is perpendicular to the plane, it is known as normal, and which is parallel to it, it is known as shear. And here in the question it is asking the parallel to the plane of reference, so it will be termed as shear stress. Now next question is, the western continental margin of India represents either active margin, passive margin, subduction zone, island arcs. So here you can see, as in this picture, there are different continents and the different plates are showing. Here you have the India, and if you will look at the western margin of India, this is a passive type of margin. Now if the boundary of any continent coincides with the boundary of a plate, it will be known as the active plate boundary, just like that of South America. Here the boundary of South American continent, western boundary of South American continent, just coincide with the plate boundary. And also in the North America you can see that the western boundary of North America is just coincide with the plate boundary, so they are termed as the active margins. But in the case of India, Africa, Australia, they are not representing the plate boundaries, so they will be termed as the passive boundaries or the passive margins. So here second option will be our right answer. Now 15th and last question is, what is the average dip of Benioff zone? Now if you will look at any subduction part, you will see something like these structures. So this plate is subducting and this plate is abducting. So the subducting plate will subduct something like this, and in this area there are several earthquakes are occurred here in these areas. So this is known as the Benioff zone, and it is almost 45 degree. Its dip is almost 45 degree. That's why first option will be our right answer. So it's all about for today. Thank you. In the next video we will see some next questions.